Join for free today to earn points and save on every service visit. Ford, the official truck of the Pirates, and by PNC, brilliantly boring since 1865. In 10 innings, the Phillies come back to win 11-9. We'll check scores after this on the Pirates Radio Network.
When facing the best hitters in the bigs, Paul Skeens welcomes pressure. But when shopping for a new vehicle, he'd rather avoid it completely. That's why Paul is a big fan of #1 Cochran's Clearly Better Car Buying. It's our exclusive, no-hassle way of doing business, featuring full transparency and no pressure whatsoever. You see, like Paul, we believe hardball belongs on the field, not in the showroom. #1 Cochran.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, the PM team.
He won the first Royal Rumble. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame. He's one of the great wrestlers of all time. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Can I get one more USA chant on the way out?
Well, we got to do a hole, brother. That's what we're going to do. Okay. And if you guys are going to hole like you mean it. So 1, 2, 3, ho!
See ya, Hacksaw.
That's some good hoeing.
The PM team at 2 p.m. live and local.
Craving the world's best pizza? Caliente Pizza and Draft House have all the bases covered. As a proud partner of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Caliente Pizza and Draft House offers a Grand Slam pizza experience. Order online at worldsbestpizza.com or visit one of our 8 locations and taste the difference. Caliente Pizza and Draft House, where every slice is a home run.
Get fired up, Bucks fans. Every time the Pirates steal this season, Valvoline Instant Oil Change's Steal a Base, Steal a Deal is officially in play. Every stolen base means you score a steal of your own, $25 off your next premium oil change. So let's cheer on Bucko base stealing this season to save on a winning oil change. Hey, it's just Valvoline Instant Oil Change's way of reminding you it's good to steal if you're a Pirate. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, proud partner of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Back on the postgame show from PNC Park, 11-9. Pirates fall in 10 innings today. The out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by AHN, official medical provider of the Pirates, caring for you through every win, every loss, and every moment in between. And throughout baseball tonight, the Reds beat the Guardians 7-6. Yankees leading the Mets 5-1 in the 9th inning. The Cubs over the White Sox 7-4 in the 8th inning. Astros 1, Rangers nothing, 8th inning in Houston. 3-3 Royals and Cardinals in the 7th. Diamondbacks with a 7-1 lead over the Rockies in the 5th inning. Dodgers and Angels are scoreless in the 3rd. Padres and Mariners scoreless in the 3rd inning. Giants and A's scoreless in the 2nd inning. The Nationals beat the Orioles 3-2. The Tigers a 3-2 win over the Blue Jays. Rays beat the Marlins 7-2. The Brewers a 3-2 win at the Twins. And the Braves a 3-2 win at home over the Red Sox. 11-9 Phillies in 10 innings. We'll take you back through the game with the highlights up next on the Pirates Radio Network, presented by Iron City and IC Light.
At AHN Sports Medicine, we know ballers. Baseballers, basketballers, footballers, pickleballers, even bocce ballers. We also know that no two ballers are alike, which is why at AHN Sports Medicine, we use the latest research, equipment, and technologies to build your personalized plan. No matter how hard you want to ball, we see you. Call 412-DOCTORS to get expert care from AHN, the official medical provider of your Pittsburgh Pirates.
That sound, that's home. When you're watching the Bucks, you don't reach for just any beer. This is Pittsburgh. We show up for our team, and we stand by our own. If you want to hit a home run in your town, drink local. Iron City Beer, brewed here since 1861. A true fan favorite. We're cracking IC Light. Clean, crisp, and built for game day in the new Stargell Stars can. So next time you're in the stands, ask yourself, are you drinking for some other city, or are you drinking for your town? It's your town, it's your team, it's your Iron City and IC Light. Iron City Beer and IC Light. Proudly Pittsburgh.
Pirates fall to the Phillies 11-9 in 10 innings today. We'll take you back through the game now. And the Pirates getting off to an early lead is O'Neill Cruz with a 2-run single in the 3rd. And then it was Brandon Lau to follow. Nola sets. And a 2-1. Swing fly ball deep right field. Brandon Lau hits the seats. It's gone. 2-run homer for Lau. Pirates up 4-0 here in the 3rd. And then 3 batters later, Marcell Ozuna batting with a man on. 3-2 is soared into deep center field. Crawford back, and there it goes into the cone. Johan caught it with the cone. Marcell Ozuna homers into the cone, into the Pirates bullpen. 438 feet. And the Pirates putting a whopping on Philadelphia. You go back east, it's 6-0. Well, the fans didn't leave, and good thing for the Phillies fans that did stick around, because the Phillies would mount a pretty memorable comeback for the Phillies. Kyle Schwarber hitting a pair of home runs, and then in the ninth inning, an error. And after one out, a walk, then another base hit. A 4-pitch walk to Schwarber with the bases loaded made the Phillies an 8-6 game with the Pirates' lead tenuous. It was Bryce Harper bidding for his 4th hit. The pitch swung on and hit high and deep out to right center. And Reynolds at the wall. It's off the top of the wall, backed up by Cruz. 1 run is in. And the tying run comes home. Throw comes to third from Soto, and the runner overruns the bag. He's out for the second out, but the Phillies have tied the game on the 2-run double by Bryce Harper. So 4 hits for Harper tonight. And then in the 10th inning, it's a tie game now, as the Pirates could not score in the bottom of the ninth. They go 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. In the 10th, it was a 3-run inning on 4 successive hits off Dennis Santana. He did not retire a batter. Brandon Beddois was enlisted to pitch in his 2nd major league game, and he retired all 3 batters he faced, including getting Kyle Schwarber to fly out to end the 10th. He stranded the 2 inherited runners, giving the Pirates at least some hope. In the bottom of the 10th inning, they would plate 1, but could not get a hit in the bottom of the 10th inning off Orion Kerkering, who got his first save of the season. And the Phillies stun the Pirates, coming back from down 6 to win 11-9 in 10 innings. For every Pirate strikeout in May, Coppers donates $25 to Blood Cancer United. 96 strikeouts, a pledge of $2,400, courtesy of Coppers, protecting what matters, preserving the future. Phillies 11, Pirates 9 in 10 innings, and we'll give you the final numbers after this on the Pirates Radio Network.
You see the skyline, you drive over the bridges. We built that. Ironworkers Local Union Number 3 isn't just a job, it's a legacy. And you can start as early as this fall. Now's your chance to join the apprenticeship program and learn from the best in the business. Earn while you train, build what matters. Take pride in every beam and bolt. Starting wages over $27 with great benefits. Visit IWLocal3.com. That's IWLocal3.com and apply now before time runs out.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. The Bob and Joe Show, weekdays 10 to 2.
I enjoyed life on the road. I was young and foolish then, Bob. Young and single. Great.
Oh, there's a story or two there. He brought that up. He brought that up. I got some money in my pocket. He's a dangerous man because he's got some money in his pocket, Joe Starkey. On the road, single boy. I see where you're going.
No, that wasn't where I was going.
No, it was. Your mind took you there.
The Bob and Joe Show, weekdays 10 to 2 on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
The Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Philadelphia Phillies Sunday, May 17th at 1:35 for a family fun day. Be sure to head down to PNC Park early to enjoy the Family Fun Zone on Federal Street. Presented by C&M Play Studio. Plus, all kids 14 and under take home a Brandon Lau Kids jersey presented by Sheets. And be sure to stay around after the game for Kids Run the Bases presented by Chicken of the Sea. Get your tickets today at Pirates.com.
Hyundai gives you America's best warranty on every new vehicle. It includes a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty, plus 24/7 roadside assistance. That's peace of mind from Hyundai. And these days, that's priceless.
Get 2.99% APR or $2,000 bonus cash on a Hyundai Elantra or lease for $89 a month. Proud partner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Offers end June 1st. Call 202-929-0073 for details.
Back for the grand finale, the Pirates fall to the Phillies 11-9 in 10 innings tonight. Food insecurity is something that nobody should experience. That's why Edgar Snyder and Associates donates $50 to the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank for every double play turned by the Pirates this season. They've turned 34. That's a pledge of $1,700, courtesy of Edgar Snyder and Associates. For the Phillies, 11 runs on 14 hits, 2 errors, and 7 left. The Phillies are 22-23. For the Pirates, 9 runs on 11 hits, 1 error, and 6 left. The Pirates are 24-21. The winner is Jose Jose Alvarado, he's 1-1. The loss to Dennis Santana, he's 2-3. And the save to Orion Kirkering, his first. Time of the game, 3 hours and 26 minutes, 29,998 here tonight. The Pirates will try to even the series tomorrow against All-Star Christopher Sanchez. It'll be Bubba Chandler going for the Pirates. We're on the air at 3:40 tomorrow for the 4:05 first pitch. Thanks again to Mike Kravitz back at our Network Control Center, and to Doran Shack, our producer-engineer, with us here in the booth. And for John Wayner, Joe Block signing off 11-9 Phillies in 10 innings right here on the Pirates Radio Network.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, the PM team.
You like that song Love and Marriage from Married with Children?
Yeah, it's a good song.
And they go together like a horse and carriage.
Can you finish it?
This I tell you, brother, you can't have one without the other.
Yeah!
Let's go.
You can't have one without the other.
Your dad loved that show, didn't he?
It's like his all-time favorite.
I think
sitcom.
loved implies that he no
Al
longer
Bundy's
loves it.
his all-time favorite character.
The PM team at 2 p.m.
Pirates fans, listen up. If you're in the military, we want to give you the PNC Park experience for less. As a show of our appreciation for your service and sacrifice to this country, members of the military and their families can save big on their seats at select home games all season long. Visit pirates.com/military for details. Let's go, Bucks!
This is going to do it. This game is over.
Should be the ball game.
You've been listening to Pirates Baseball on the Pirates Radio Network. Today's game on the Pirates Radio Network has been brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Caring for you through every win, loss, and every moment in between. The Pennsylvania Lottery. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Sheets, the official convenience store of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Why the Sheets not? Get a snack after the game. Pittsburgh Brewing Company. Pittsburgh Brewing, makers of Iron City and Icy Light. Ford, the official truck of the Pittsburgh Pirates. NSS Life. For low-cost insurance and high-yielding annuities, it's NSS Life, where family matters. SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Highmark Health. Highmark is proud to support Pirates everywhere, from home base to home away from home, because life. Highmark, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Giant Eagle, official supermarket of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And by PNC. PNC, brilliantly boring since 1865. You've been listening to Pirates Baseball on the Pirates Radio Network.
This Odyssey Sports broadcast has been presented by ZipRecruiter. Find out why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it free at ZipRecruiter.com/team.
The ball game is over.
And this game is over.
And the ball game is over.
Now, it's time for your reaction on the Pirates Fan Reaction Show. The Og Murphy and Prikoski Fan Reaction Show is presented by Van Handel Cleaning and Restoration and is brought to you by Bellman Electric, Sir Grout's, Hampton Beer Outlet, Guardian Protection, NJM Insurance, Keystone Custom Apparel, Veteran Basement Waterproofing, Zero Res Commercial Cleaning, and Og Murphy and Prikoski Law Firm. We're all in.
And this will do it. The ball game is over.
The Fan Reaction Show is on Sports Radio 93.7, The Fan.
Just now, a right-hander getting up. Pitch swung on and hit high and deep out to right center. And Reynolds at the wall. It's off the top of the wall, backed up by Cruz. 1 run is in, and the tying run comes home. Throw comes to third from Soto, and the runner overruns the bag. He's out for the second out, but the Phillies have tied the game on the 2-run double by Bryce Harper.
Well, that was just the tip of the iceberg, because the bullpen meltdown would have a sequel with a trio of runs coming across in the 10th inning as well, and a 6-0 lead that the Pirates had, an 8-3 lead that the Pirates had, not good enough. And the Pirates fall 11-9 as the Philadelphia Phillies come all the way back, and they blow up the Pirates bullpen just as the Pittsburgh skyline was lit up with fireworks just a moment ago, and the Bucks drop their worst loss of the season, the first of a 3-game series by far and away. This one was inexcusable. This is a ball game that a good team that is to contend in a season, that is to compete for a postseason berth, just simply cannot lose. And we'll discuss it, we'll dissect it. I'm not sure what the answers are, but right now, as we sit here is largely personnel related out in that left center field bullpen. This is the Og Murphy and Perkowski postgame show presented by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Yep, it all seemed to go so swimmingly for the Pirates, who came in with an 8-4 record in the month of May, and a club that just hasn't been able to pick up a ton of steam, rattling off 5 wins in a row, maybe 6 of 7. This is a club that has alternated wins and losses. Maybe they grab 2 of 3, or maybe the biggest burst that they'll get is a 5-game win streak, which was almost 2 months ago. 8 out of 12 ain't bad, again, to begin the month of May. But you're hoping that with the success against Philadelphia, with the offense really firing on all cylinders, with Braxton Ashcraft going tonight, that this would be the night that the Pirates would be able to kick Aaron Nola as he scuffles a little bit, the veteran right-hander, and get out to an early lead. Well, they did just that, but they gave it all back and then some. So, most frustrating indeed, and you'll have an opportunity to weigh in at 412-928-9370 if you're getting in your car, and we're one of the near 30,000 on hand here at PNC Park to discuss it, whether you wore the red and the white or the black and the gold. Dan Zang, really glad to be with you. We'll hear from Don Kelly. I'm sure there's a lot of questions that he'll be asked. This is a post-game press conference I'm certain that he won't want to partake in. Other reaction inside the Pirates clubhouse as well. Our sports director, Jeff Hawthorne, is downstairs at the moment. All right, let's bring in John Wayner, who called this alongside Joe Block. Rock is brought to us by Veteran Basement Waterproofing in Bethel Park. John, it's the bullpen, and the bullpen again. It's obviously the Achilles heel for this club. And now the Pirates have 4 losses when leading after 6 innings, and it's May 15th. That's too many losses to have leading that late into a ball game. How do we fix it?
Well, that's a good question. It seems like just about everybody down there except Mason Montgomery has been getting touched up. I mean, I know Mason Montgomery gave up a 2-run homer to Schwarber, but Schwarber's on fire right now. Yeah, you don't want him to come up with anybody on base. And, Montgomery's been dominating righties and lefties. But, obviously he throws a fastball to Schwarber, he's on it, it's out of the ballpark. But he's not getting hit. It's Schwarber. So I'm not going to put anything on Montgomery. But Santana, obviously struggling. Matson's had a couple bad outings, although we're not using him. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. I think he's thrown 24 pitches this month. Johan Ramirez has been up and down. Soto, obviously he came in. The air didn't help and there in the 9th inning, and then the 3-2 breaking ball in the dirt is a head scratcher. All I'm thinking about there in the 9th inning is do not give out any free passes, because I don't want Schwarber to hit in the 9th inning. Well, you had the air, then you had to walk, and it was pretty much a given that he was going to get up there in that inning. But it's a great question. I think Donnie tried something different by letting Ashcraft go out there in the 7th, which was a surprise to me just because of the pitch count and where it was and, how they use these guys. But I think he wanted to get him out there to get another out or two so Montgomery can get through Harper, the lefties, hopefully clean. And then, after you get past Schwarber, Harper. But again, the bullpen's a mess right now. I think the guys are maybe lacking a little bit of confidence. I'm sure Donnie will answer as far as the usage and why some of the guys aren't in there that we've used earlier in the year. They're trying to piece it together, and that's a tough loss right there. When you got Schwarber and Harper swinging the bats like they do, you got to try to get them up there with nobody on base.
It's also unrealistic, Rock, I think, for anybody, regardless of what's happening or why it's happening, or if somebody's hurt, if they have dead arms, because a lot of these guys, frankly, were run into the ground out of the gate. Far more games and innings than you would have liked to see, especially in the month of April, and I understand that that's certainly been curtailed here in the month of May. Maybe the point still stands there. I'd be curious, because the Santana stuff, to me, looks lifeless out of the hand. I haven't taken a dive into metrics and shapes and spin rates and arm slots and things of that nature. Same might be able to be applied to Isaac Mattson, but just because Santana threw tonight and because he fooled absolutely no one, and because he is, I guess, or was, the closer of this team, which that role has kind of quietly shifted over to Soto. I mean, what do you do with Santana here? Because he certainly looks 180 degrees worse than he did a year ago, and that is all sorts of red flags to me.
What's interesting about that is the stuff doesn't look any different. In fact, one of the games on the road, he was throwing 96. I thought he was overthrowing. I thought what made him good was missing the barrel of the bat and, adding and subtracting. And tonight even, he made good pitches. But I want to say the one ball that was driven by Marsh was a breaking ball down off the plate. There was the fastball. I didn't agree with the fastball he threw to the backup catcher that was off the plate. He hit it up the middle. There was a changeup that was down and off the plate. The Stott, I believe, that was hit to center. So it wasn't like he was throwing the ball down the middle. He was executing pretty good pitches, and they were still hitting them. And, his confidence got to be a little bit down as it is, just because, some of the struggles he's had here recently, and then he goes out and executes pitches, and they hit them like they know they're coming. This game, confidence is a big thing in this game, and when you're not having success, all of a sudden it's like, what do? You're afraid to throw strikes. You're afraid to throw the fastball, and I don't know if that's it. I don't know. Again, the stuff didn't look much different to me tonight than what we've seen from him in the last couple of years. But boy, they were swinging at it and hitting it like they knew it was coming. And these are the guys you got, though. This is your bullpen. I don't think you can go run out there and replace any of these guys. So, you got to find a way to get their confidence going, and you got to put them in the situations that you need them, and hope they can just pitch their way out of it. I don't think you can avoid using them. I think you still got to go to them and show that you have confidence in them, and they're just having a downtime, and just go out there and pitch their way out of it. And sometimes this is a humbling game. This game can humble you in a lot of different ways. And, you might feel like you're at the top of the mountain one day, the next day you feel like you can't get anybody out. And so, I don't know where we go. I know where we go from here. You got to use these guys. You got to throw them out there and hope that they get outs. Hitting's not easy. And, put them in positions to succeed. I know they try to match up the best they can to give these pitchers the best chance to have success. But, you got to have confidence that they're going to figure it out.
John Wayner is with us, and Rock, I don't want to pile on a 20-year-old here, but if he fields that ground ball routinely in the ninth inning, I'm not sure that you and I here are talking about some of the things we're talking about. That was just a massive error that opened up the floodgates. That aside, I also want to talk about moving forward the next two games of this series and some strategy here. I treat Kyle Schwarber like he's Barry Bonds of 2001, because he essentially is. He's on pace, I think, to hit 70 homers now. Came in at a 66 homer pace. He drives in 5 runs. I don't pitch to him the rest of the series. Full stop, period, end of sentence. He doesn't see anything that is over that white pentagon in the circle here at PNC Park for the remaining 8-9 plate appearances that he has on Saturday and Sunday. Do you agree? Or, it's to me, under any circumstance, like there's no logical reason why he should see anything in the strike zone the remainder of this series, regardless of the situation, kind of as they approached him in the ninth inning with the bases loaded. They walked him on 4 pitches.
Yeah, I agree. I like the way Ashcraft threw to him early. First at bat, everything was away. If he's going to beat you, have him beat you the other way. Stay down and away. It's hard to do much damage there. And I thought he did execute some pitches. He ended up going off the plate and had slapped a single to center. Okay, that's fine. I think he tried to do that the next time and ended up yanking it over the middle, and he hit it out of the ballpark. And that's how hot he is. So what you do is, okay, I'm going to try to work down and away, and if I miss away, okay, I walk him. If I get it on the plate and he rolls over, okay, I win. But yeah, I mean, there might be times you have to pitch to him, but you're going to be very careful. I think the other thing is, and I worried about this yesterday when we brought in Sisk in the second inning, because I'm thinking, well, now Sisk has gone 2 days in a row. He's not going to be available here tonight, and you're going to need lefties. That's the way they're used nowadays to face their toughest lefties. So I'm thinking, well, there might be a situation where you need Sisk to face Harper and Schwarber, and you're going to need Montgomery to face Harper and Schwarber, and I knew, and then Soto would be closing the game. Well, I think that seventh inning might have been a time you could have used Sisk to start the seventh. And, maybe you have Montgomery for the eighth because they had so many lefties. But whatever the case may be, I mean, not having Sisk tonight I thought was kind of costly to use him yesterday in the second inning. But who knows? Especially the way it turned out tonight. I literally thought about it as soon as I saw Sisk come in the second yesterday. I'm like, well, you can't worry about tomorrow's game. Obviously they're trying to win the game yesterday. But, in my mind, you want your lefties available against this club because they got some guys that could do some damage. But I'm with you, though. Right now, Schwarber, stay away from him. And they got a dangerous guy behind them in Harper, who had a good night tonight, too. So you're going to have to pick your poison. And right now, that poison's Harper.
Yeah, one's lethal, one can hurt you for sure. And heck, I mean, I don't know. I would have gone Sisk 3 days in a row. It was 17 pitches, 15 pitches. So, he could have faced a batter and given you 10, I think. I mean, it's not unheard of for guys to go 3 days in a row. I know you don't like to do that, but anyway, that's for another day. Rock, and tomorrow can't come soon enough because this is the worst one that the Pirates have had in some time, certainly this year, and we're going to find out what exactly is below the belt here with his club and Bubba Chandler tomorrow, because they need a big one from Chandler. They need to come out and kind of get this taste out of their mouth as soon as possible because it was brutal tonight.
Yeah, that was a bad one. We've talked. There's been 3 or 4 this year that have slipped away, but this one, it shouldn't have slipped away. That was a gut punch for sure.
Yeah. All right, John. Tomorrow it is, and we'll talk to you then, man. Thank you. John Wayner, brought to us by Veteran Baseman Waterproofing in Bethel Park, 11-9. Pirates fall to the Philadelphia Phillies. This is after 6-0 and 8-3 leads that the Pirates had. A third inning where the Pirates get a 2-run single from O'Neal Cruz, a 2-run homer from Brandon Lau, and another 2-run homer from Marcell Ozuna. Brandon Lau would homer again. They waste a 2-homer game, the third of the year, by the way, for Brandon Lau tonight. And they lose this game. They get 6 2/3 from their starter. They get 3 home runs in this game, and they lose. And it's now, again, the 4th loss that the Pirates have sustained when leading after 6 innings. And it's May 15th. That is not good. And while Rock, I guess his solution is to essentially, you kind of have to ride with the guys that you have. I'm trying to be far more proactive than that. Now yes, he's absolutely correct to a certain degree. And in a couple of weeks, there's going to be an arm in that bullpen that comes from the Pirates rotation, and that's going to be likely Carmen Mlodzinski. Maybe it's going to be Jared Jones, but likely Mlodzinski. Wilbur Dotel, can you bring him up here to just try to blow heat by guys, just as Brandon Bidois did tonight with his fastball, striking out 2 batters in Adolis Garcia and then Trey Turner. But you also have to be extremely active. I think the trade market this year is a little different than in years past. Usually you do have to sit on your hands. You do have to wait and see. You do have to see the congested middle sort of separate itself, the top and the bottom very much come to form here. And that's, mid-June, July, sometimes even later than that. But I feel that there are some clubs that want to get on with their 2027 work or beyond their 2026 roster, maybe sooner rather than later. The general manager of the opposing team, in fact, about 2.5-3 weeks ago, said as much. I think we've seen more trade activity, albeit not necessarily that substantial. But, yeah, get on the phone early. Start these conversations now. And these 4 losses, and it's not just the 4 losses that the Pirates have already leading after 6 innings that are going to be costly down the road, right? Losses are losses, whether they occur in April or August, in May or September, right? That's a cliche, but it's so true. But there's even a few more losses that the Pirates have had that are just silly. I mean, let's talk about walk-off losses, 3 of those. So you could probably put those on the bullpen as well. It's the Achilles heel of this club. And if this club is to win, if this club is to do anything meaningful, if this club is to be at the top of the division or towards the top of the division, these issues need addressed. They need addressed as swiftly and effectively as they address their needs in the offseason. Full stop. Period. End of sentence. That was the quote. Full stop. So get to it. 412-928-9370, a chance for you to state your case from Hampton Beer Outlet. You can get a case of White Claw variety packs of 24 for just $29.99. That's a terrific price. Do stay with us. Your phone calls plus Don Kelly. Jeff Hawthorne was inside the Pirates clubhouse as well. And we might even pull hockey in just to kind of get the tone, the tenor, and the mood of the Pirates clubhouse. Was everybody just in a hurry to get the heck out of town and beat the post-game fireworks traffic? Or did they stand there, take accountability, stick their thumb in their chest, and face the music with some reporters? So we'll try to flag down Jeff Hawthorne as well, just to kind of get an idea on all of that. It's the Og Murphy and Prikoski post-game show. We're live at a very now quiet and at one point very somber PNC Park, at least on the Pirates side. There were plenty of Philly fans here at the Yard rejoicing an 11-9 win in Game 1 of a series over Pittsburgh. Philadelphia goes to 22-23. They're now 13-4 under Don Mattingly. They have one of the best records in baseball. Only the Rays have been better over this heater that the Phillies have been on. 13 of their last 17 games they've won, and it kind of all, coincidentally or not, coincides with the dismissal of Rob Thompson and the installment of Don Mattingly. All right, back in a moment. This is Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Get the latest on Pittsburgh sports from anywhere with the Odyssey app. Listen to shows and Pirate games live. Check out our exclusive interviews and content anytime. Download the Odyssey app now and never miss a minute. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
After an accident, you need an injury attorney who fights for you. Og, Murphy, and Prikoski are ready to take on the insurance companies and win you the compensation you deserve. Call 412-391-FIRM. Og, Murphy, Prikoski, the firm. We're all in.
Family-owned D'Amelio Heating and Cooling services heating, cooling, commercial refrigeration, and tap beer systems. D'Amelio services all brands and and provides 24-hour service. D'Amelio's Heating and Cooling is a Carrier Factory certified dealer. D'Amelio Inc. is a family-owned Pennsylvania heating and air conditioner contractor invested in providing you with the very finest strategies, heating and cooling systems at reasonable cost. D'Amelio 724-838-9360.
Get everything you need for the entire job delivered. From lumber to drywall, flooring, and fixtures, get it all delivered from the Home Depot. With same day, next day, or any day delivery. Staying on track and on time is crucial to your job. That's why it's our job to get you what you need when you need it. We deliver the supplies. You deliver the results. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent. You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th. Wayfair, every style, every home.
Now, back to the Og Murphy and Perkowski Reaction Show on Sports Radio 93.7, The Fan.
Batted for Marchand here. If he were healthy, I would presume. Here's a 1-1. Swinging the ball line into center. That shows what I know. Base hit for Marchand. His first hit with a runner in scoring position all season. Drives in two more for the Phillies. And this is going to be a tough one tonight. It's 11-8 Philadelphia. What a bad go of it for the Bucks here in this big-time measuring stick opener game.
And if you weren't here for the whole thing, the Pirates had a 6-0 lead in the third inning. And at the end of 5, they had a 7-3 lead. At the end of 6, they had an 8-3 lead. And that all went up in smoke. Phillies with a 2-run homer from Kyle Schwarber, his second of the game in the 7th inning, and then a 3-spot 9th inning and a 3-spot in the 10th inning. You just heard Play of the Game, brought to you by our friends at Sir Grout, your local tile, grout, stone restoration specialists. Here at the ballpark, it's our Og Murphy and Perkowski postgame show. Final score, Phillies 11, Pirates 9. Bucks fall to 24-21, while everybody else in the National League Central Division won. So that just makes a bad night even worse for everybody heading home tonight. Pirates join the Reds in the basement of the National League Central Division, now 4.5 back of the Chicago Cubs, who were winners over the Braves. The Milwaukee Brewers, they won tonight, 2 straight, 7 of 10 for the now 25-17 Brewers, and St. Louis continues to win. The Pirates, despite having the third best run differential in the National League Central Division and doing a lot of the good things with their offense and their starting pitching, well, they have a number of bad losses already on the ledger, and it remains blatantly obvious, and tonight it just took center stage that the bullpen is very much the Achilles heel of this club. Let's hear Don Kelly's post-game thoughts. He just wrapped up a short time ago at the podium.
This year, what did you see from him in the 9th inning?
Yeah, he has been. He's been really good this year for us. It was a tough inning. Just looked like at times lost the plate with a couple walks. But like you said, he's been really good for us.
How do you back a game like that when a lot of good happened early, had a 6-run lead, had a 5-run lead, and all kind of unraveled late?
It did, and I think, getting the lead and then continuing we scored a couple more there to add on. Lau hit the home run, and then to get another one, go up 8-3. I thought offensively swung the bats pretty well. We're able to push across 8 runs, and just unfortunately wasn't enough.
How disappointing of a defeat is it, given that you had a 5-run lead and 3 going into the last inning?
Yeah, it's a tough loss. I mean, any loss is tough, especially when you have a lead like that. It's going to happen throughout the season. And again, talking about bouncing back, we need to find a way to put this one behind us.
Including Soto tonight, just how do you assess over the course of the game how you guys went after Schwarber tonight?
Oh man, I mean, Schwarber's on an absolute tear. I don't know exactly, 9 homers in 8 games or something. I mean, he's a heck of a hitter. He got Ashcraft, he got Mason. He's swinging the bat well, and so is Harper behind him.
Bullpen's ERA, I think, is 5.90 in May. What does that group need to do to turn it around?
Yeah, we just need to keep getting after it, keep working, and find a way. During the course of a season, when you get individually or sometimes even as a group, understand that there's opportunity and to go out there and stay within yourself and not press. I think that's the thing that sometimes can end up happening is you start trying too hard and then the stuff isn't what it can be.
When Soto and Santana had trouble in their roles tonight, how much is there a concern over the closer by committee, whether you actually have one?
Yeah, there's going to be opportunity to close, and I think that at times they both have done a really good job. I think that Soto, the one in Texas, I guess, is the only one that I can remember where he gave it up. I think that he's done a good job, and we just need to keep going.
What answers can you find when usually it's 1 or 2 guys who are struggling, but right now it seems like pretty much everyone is struggling? Montgomery and Soto had been the hot hands, but today they didn't have it.
Yeah, well, and Monty, maybe tough to say that he didn't. He gave up a home run to Schwarber, but had a really good 8th inning. And Soto has been so good for us. We know that the guys are going to continue to work. Free them up to go out and continue to do what we've seen them do in the past. I think that's the biggest thing is finding a way to have that confidence when you go out there individually and collectively.
Tony, do you say anything to Connor Griffin, bring him aside for any encouragement after a situation, an error like that, or do you just trust him as a young professional?
Oh man, I mean, talking about a kid that has been so good for us, and as a young player coming up to the big leagues that has been so sure-handed, I hope that Connor knows that he's really good, and I don't think there's much you need to say to him. He's picked us up so much defensively and made so many great plays. He's done well.
I feel like Brandon Lau continues to get better as the season goes on, what he's been able to contribute to the offense.
Yeah, I mean, he's been swinging the bat really well. I mean, to have the 2 home runs tonight, 1 off the lefty, he continues to really impact the ball.
How do you think Braxton did today, and what made you confident he'd go as far as he did? I think 100 pitches today.
Yeah, he threw the ball really well, and to get to the 100-pitch mark into the 7th inning. And, again, efficient, getting strikes early, elite stuff in the zone. I thought he threw the ball great.
Donnie Nick was out of the lineup for the 2nd consecutive game. What went into that decision, and is he fully healthy?
He should be in there tomorrow.
All right, Don Kelly, after the 11-9 loss, Philadelphia takes game 1 of a 3-game series against the Pirates, who had a 6-0 lead at the end of 3 and an 8-3 loss at the end of 6. Sports director Jeff Hawthorne was downstairs in the Pirates clubhouse, and he's just come back upstairs. Jeff, obviously the worst loss of the year. I think that goes without saying. Philadelphia, one of the hottest teams in baseball, sure. Star-studded, multi-million-dollar lineup, and between Schwarber and Harper and Trey Turner and the like, it was just kind of a sleeping giant. But all of that being said, a lot of investment made in the Pirates lineup, big trades made, the starting pitching has been good, top 5 units in all of baseball. Achilles' heel has been the bullpen, and they've been able to dance through the raindrops at times. This now the 4th loss after leading following 6 innings. That's a lot on May 15th. And at some point, and it did tonight, it just catches up with you in a big way on a big stage. So, kind of all of that being said, you were in that clubhouse just a moment ago. What was it like having this night turned out the way that it did for this club?
I mean, you can imagine the mood. It was pretty empty. After a loss like this, with fireworks, guys tend to try to get out early so they could beat the traffic before the fireworks are over. So it was a fairly empty room. We talked to Braxton Ashcraft and to Brandon Lau. Lau had some very veteran comments to say, but it's exactly what you would expect in that room after a loss like this. The 10th blown save of the year.
That is concerning, and just because they happen in April and May doesn't mean that they are not impactful in August and September. Well, we just heard Don Kelly's post-game remarks. A lot of questions, obviously, about the bullpen, some pointed questions, some follow-up questions, some direct questions, pressing, if you will. Was he sort of kind of squirming in the seat there?
No.
What was the facial expressions, because we only heard it?
No, he was not, I don't know if resolute is the right word, but he was still confident in his guys. Whether that's because he truly is confident or he knows, given what Ben Cherington told us yesterday, they believe their answers are internal. And it's not been Donnie's style to rip anyone publicly or question anyone publicly. So I think it's more of that's just his mindset.
Yeah, and there's what they think, and then there's reality, and obviously changes need to happen. They need to happen quickly, and to just sort of ride it out, I mean, that obviously improvement has to come, but externally there needs to be some activity here, Jeff, because otherwise you could see an otherwise promising season unravel very quickly. And listen, they're in last place. They're not in first place. There's a lot of good teams in the National League Central Division. Every single one of these games really costly, and to see 6-0, 8-3 leads, and 6 2/3 from your starter be blown up to smithereens, that's tough.
And Dan, to your point, I think the pressure is on Cherington, because this is not like 3 years ago where you could bring somebody up and put them in a role in the bullpen, or bring up a young guy and let him figure it out, like they did with Kyle Nicholas or others like that. This is a year you're expected to win. You have the starting pitching to win. You have a lineup that can win. You need to help those people by making some moves, and whether that's trading a prospect that people might love. That's why most winning organizations have prospects, to use them to improve themselves. They don't keep all of them. They move them, and they've got to seriously consider that. I mean, we're getting close to Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a third of the way through the season.
And it's interesting because the trade market, and Dave Dombrowski even mentioned this a few weeks ago to the Philadelphia media, right around the time that they were making their changes, which, by the way, have worked swimmingly as Don Mattingly improves to 13-4. He said that things are starting to ferment faster than they typically do, right? You've got that congested middle that hangs around, and we don't know who's at the top, who's at the bottom in June and July as far as contenders versus non-contenders. I think we have that's a clearer picture earlier this year. So I would think that would bode well in the Pirates' favor as far as phones ringing a little bit earlier, or maybe some actual qualified trade partners, because that's usually an issue this time of year, finding people that do want to do business, that think rightly or wrongly they're in contention. And did Cherington yesterday give any indication of that? Is there any early activity? Is that even feasible, or is it, as you just alluded to, internal stuff?
It's internal. I mean, he left the caveat of you're always looking.
Yeah, well,
but
that's a disclaimer more than anything.
And in 10 days, you could add Jared Jones to the rotation, which puts Majinski hypothetically, but probably in the bullpen. And that
it doesn't cure all the ills.
No.
Right.
But he was very, I will use the word resolute on thinking that they have some things they've figured out with some of these relievers. They just need to get into their groove, or that this is going to be better as it. One of the things he said is, as a season goes on, you normally see the bullpen improve. Well, as this season has gone on to this point, we have not seen it to any level, really, with anyone in there. The lefties have been better, but, Soto the last couple has struggled, and they need to find some answers. And I don't think they're sitting in AAA.
I would agree. And the organization, frankly, they're all on a runway. This needs to happen yesterday. And the ills need to be cured tomorrow. And that's just the fact of the matter. Jeff, thank you. We'll read all about it at 937thefan.com.
Thanks, Dan.
Sports Director Jeff Hawthorne downstairs in the Pirates clubhouse, coming in hot up here. We appreciate him doing that just to share what he was able to ascertain from Don Kelly's post-game press conference and the few that were inside the Pirates clubhouse once the doors opened to the media. 11-9, Philadelphia over Pittsburgh tonight as the Pirates drop game 1 of a 3-game series, having lost a 6-0 and then 8-3 lead. Or at least they held 6-0 and 8-3 leads in this game. Philadelphia took their first lead in extra innings after they tied the game 8-8 in the 9th inning. They added 3 in that frame and then another trio in the 10th. Your phone calls when we come back here on our Og Murphy and Prikoski post-game show live from the ballpark. Pirates 11-9 losers to the Philadelphia Phillies here on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
HD1 Pittsburgh, an Odyssey Sports Station, live from the Jim Shorkey Mitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. Always live and free on the Odyssey app.
There's electricity in the crowd, but when you have electrical problems, you need a family-owned business you can trust. Call Pellman Electric. Pellman Electric has been in business for over 25 years, and their qualified electricians can handle any project. Residential or commercial, outlet repairs in your house, to completing a high-rise office building, Pellman Electric will tackle any job. And if the power goes out, Pellman offers generator installation services. Visit them at PellmanElectric.com. You depend on electricity, depend on Pellman.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Pony and Muller here. Mike and Mike's Beer Bar is a big fan of us. In fact, he gave us our own beer. Okay, well, kind of. Each month, Mike picks a local beer that we call the Fan Beer of the Month. The Fan Beer of the Month for May is Lincoln Avenue Brewing's Jalapeno Machete Cream Ale. And the charity sales will benefit Save Our Strays Pittsburgh, an organization dedicated to rescuing abandoned, neglected, at-risk cats.
And if you don't like the Fan Beer of the Month, Mike has 4 other beers on tap that you can select, and he will make a donation to the charity. Check out the Fan Beer of the Month at Mike's Beer Bar.
Meet me at Mike's.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at repairclinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
When disaster strikes your home or business, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration of Pittsburgh is ready to help. Our certified team handles everything from emergency cleanup to full reconstruction, working directly with your insurance to make the process simple. Available 24/7, we respond fast and restore your property with care, honesty, and experience you can trust. Visit PanhandleCR.com. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, restoring Pittsburgh's peace of mind.
Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Now back to more of the Og Murphy and Prikoski Reaction Show on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
11-9 Phillies. 2 outs. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out.
Foul ball.
Foul ball.
Oh. No, that he said it wasn't. I thought it was a foul ball.
He took it away. So the call was initially made, and then the strikeout. The Phillies win 11-9 in 10 innings.
Postgame show brought to you by Og Murphy and Prikoski and Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. When weather disaster strikes, call Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. A bullpen disaster struck today at 115 Federal Street. We're going to need our boys at Panhandle to come clean up a mess where the Pirates had a 6-0 lead at the end of 3, and at the end of 6, 8-3. But Philadelphia with 2 in the 7th, 3 in the 9th to tie, forcing extras after the Pirates did not score in the 9th inning, and then they put up 3 more in the 10th, winning 11-9 to grab the first of this 3-game series. It was ugly, for sure. All right, let's get to a few phone calls as Kyle Schwarber tonight, by the way, our Pellman Electric Player of the Game, brought to you by your cutting-edge electrical contractors covering the tri-state at Pellman Electric. Schwarber, a pair of 2-run homers and then a bases-loaded walk, 5 RBIs, 3 hits. They should not pitch to him for the rest of the series. And when I say not pitch to him, I say treat him like Barry Bonds 2001, because he essentially has been that. He's on pace to hit mid-60s, maybe even 70 home runs. We'll have to see what the on-pace number is after he homered twice tonight. Numbers 19 and 20 on the season. All right, let's get to a few phone calls because we have so many on the line. I'll just ask everybody to be brief. Make your point in a salient manner and save the pleasantries. So let's get to it. Rapid fire starting with Murraysville. That's where Jeff is on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan after the 11-9 loss. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yes, thanks for taking my call. You know, as we say, every week there's a new worse loss. And I feel like that a lot of this is contributed to the management. We heard from Ben Sherrington a couple weeks ago that he said that we make 80% of our decisions before game time as a group. And again, until you get rid of some of those management, you're going to have the same story.
So you don't like the in-game decision-making tonight. What specifically tonight stood out?
Oh, again, Sisk, you know, like we talked about yesterday, Sisk used early in the game. I think that played a part in today's decisions about who to use, who was available.
So why they used Sis yesterday? Just to kind of clarify, because they decided Mickey Moniak was an issue for them, obviously, in Game 2 for the Colorado Rockies. Moniak, and they've been stacking lefties at the top of their lineup. So they decided, instead of starting Majinski, let's go ahead, start Montgomery. Montgomery faces 4 batters. They stacked all their left-handers and switch hitters right below the 4th spot of the order. So instead of going to Majinski in the 2nd inning, they decided to go to Sisk in the 2nd. Now, you're saying that they should have saved Sisk, not knowing what they would have been getting into the following day. I mean, I don't agree with that. Now, if you say that you wanted Sisk in the game tonight, I would have pushed the envelope, and this is where I would agree here, because he threw 15 pitches yesterday. He threw 17 pitches the day before. So, yes, back-to-back days, but while you want to avoid it, it's not unprecedented to run a guy out there a 3rd consecutive day. It's not as if he had 22 and 25 pitches in those back-to-back days. I don't know how many times, if at all, Sisk has thrown a 3rd consecutive day. And it's a dicey area most certainly. But where would you have wanted to have seen Sisk in this game?
Obviously, post seventh inning.
Post seventh inning. So you wanted him to face in the eighth inning? Because that's a 1-2-3 eighth inning from Montgomery. Montgomery comes in, and while he serves up the home run, he's been very good. So I have no issue going to Montgomery there.
Yeah,
but he retired the next 4 hitters. So where did you want him? You wanted him in the eighth? The eighth was a 1-2-3 inning.
Right. So no, it wouldn't have been the eighth. So I guess it would have been the.
So did you want him to face
seventh.
Schwarber? I mean, I don't like Sisk better than Montgomery. Hell no. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
So you would have gone to Sisk instead of Montgomery? I mean, you're complaining about something that I'm not sure that you're certain of what you're complaining about.
Yeah. So the other
okay,
part,
all right. Have a good night. On that note, since you came to file a complaint but aren't sure what you're complaining about, we're going to cut you loose and go to Dalton from PNC Park. Go ahead, Dalton.
So I'm just not really. I've been watching the Pirates for a couple of years now. I just got back into them. Watching their bullpen the last, over the course of the season, they've been able to, skate away at times with the bullpen. But, I mean, we talk about using Sisk yesterday and the day before.
I mean, everybody's going to complain about that, but where would you have wanted him? Do you want Sisk in the ball game on a third consecutive day over Montgomery or on Soto? The Pirates bullpen. The Pirates bullpen has plenty of issues, but Soto typically and Montgomery have been the solutions in an otherwise problem-filled pen, and everybody wants to go to Evan Sisk, but we're not sure where.
I will give you that. Soto has been very good this season. I will give you that much.
So did you want Sisk to come in and close out a 3-run? I just want to be clear. Are you suggesting that you wanted Evan Sisk to come in the ninth inning instead of Gregory Soto to close out a 3-run lead?
No.
Okay, cool.
But what I'm trying to say is the overall strength of the bullpen is very not strong.
Without question. It's bad. We can call it what it is. It is abysmal. It is the Achilles heel. It is a kryptonite. It is a drag. It is a liability at this moment. You insert whatever adjective that you want. It's applicable here, sure.
I just don't think that, we can't get it from AAA. Sure, we probably could in some fashion with some of the pitchers, but we cannot bring everybody up, obviously.
No, and nobody's any good down in AAA. And thanks for the call, Dalton. We're going to move on. So your point tonight is the Pirates bullpen is not good, and I would co-sign to that. Preston in Bellevue is on our Og Murphy and Perkowski postgame show. 11-9, Philadelphia coming back from deficits of 6-0, and then 8-3. The Pirates had a lead in the sixth inning. What do you got, Preston? Good to talk to you.
Hey, Dan. It's good to talk to you, too. It's got to be about urgency right now. I know I heard Sherrington's comments the other day where I think
I don't like that. I don't like any of the. I don't like staying the course. I want activity. I want action. I want fixes. I want them yesterday. Period. End of sentence. We're done. We're impatient. We've been patient, and this is the time to fix it. It's broken.
Well, yeah.
Fix it.
Exactly, and I know I've called into you in previous years, and we've talked about kind of how they've gone on and on about internal options. And look, I mean, I think they're much, they're a better ball club now, obviously, than they were in previous years. But, internally, it's like you just brought up in AAA, there isn't anybody busting down the door right now. And I think when you look at
their farm system, by the way, their farm system is, I don't want to say it's not that good. Their farm system has produced good players, but it's very much few and far between and otherwise top heavy.
It's very top heavy. That's the right word for it.
And it's good. And that top heavy has tipped over and spilled over into the big leagues, which is a good thing, right? Bubba Chandler is here. Connor Griffin is here. A lot of which is it's a testament, right? That they've graduated and they have drafted and developed completely a homemade rotation 1 through 5. That's a testament. That's a tip of the cap. But there is a gap in the upper levels of the minor leagues in talent. Not that the record is end-all, be-all, but AA and AAA, they're having terrible years. If you look at the personnel on those rosters, there's nothing there. You have, again, some studs and some thoroughbreds, again, that have graduated to the big leagues, as Merlin Valdez might be the only one, but he's an outfielder. Edward Florentino, he's an A-ball. Seth Hernandez, great high-A debut tonight. He's an A-ball. Yeah. That's nowhere near the stratosphere of helping this club tomorrow. They do not have any 21st through 26th man on their roster. They don't have in the bullpens of AAA or in the rotations of AAA, they don't have the 6th, 7th, or 8th reliever to help this club. There's nothing there. And is that an indictment? I guess, yeah, it is, because in the 7th year, you should have options internally of all forms. But they have done a good job developing some aircraft carriers that have moved the needle far more than, mediocre players. You've got 1 through 5 players on your roster. You don't have 21 through 26 players. Your Brandon Comptons, your Cam Sadlers of the world, if you remember from the winning years, that they would pull these guys up from AAA to give you a 5 and dive out of the rotation or to chew up some innings in the bullpen. Preston, thank you. So the point is, it's broken, it needs fixed. You can look elsewhere in your organization, it's not there. Then you've got to overpay in the trade market. You have to fix this, because you've lost now 4 games by May 15th. This was the 45th game that the Pirates have played. Leading after 6, now 4 losses. They have 3 walk-off losses. Those 7 games, and who knows, I don't know if there's any redundancy in the 4 losses leading after 6 that lead to these 3 walk-off losses. I'm counting 7 games that the Pirates have flushed away, and it's due in large part, either entirely or partially, on a very dicey bullpen. Greg in Youngstown after the 11-9 loss to the Phillies.
Hey, what's going on? You know what? Santana's arm was dead, wasn't it?
It looks like that. The stuff looks lifeless. It looks lifeless to me, and I question if he's healthy, because they've used him, I think, all but 4 times here. This may have been his 5th appearance in the entire month of May. They may have overused him in April, but he's not fooling anybody, and it looks like that thing's hanging off his shoulder. I agree with you, but I mentioned that to John Wayner in our conversation. He aptly brings up, and it's a valid counterpoint. He's thrown 96 miles an hour out on the West Coast. Okay, but obviously not fooling anybody at all, from unhittable to what we have here, and it's wild how turbulent and volatile relief pitching is year over year.
He hasn't struck out a batter in 6 games. You know that.
He's not fooling anybody. The stuff looks lifeless.
I know.
Greg, I haven't taken a dive into pitch shapes, spin rates, arm slot, all these indicators that would, talk about and lead us to fire. Right? The smoke is the results. The smoke is the eye test. And then you dive deeper, go down that rabbit hole, and you can find some empirical data to maybe, to back that stuff up. But no, I agree. And thank you for the call. It's been a tough watch, and you can't have this guy going down at all. Way too important. Bill and Irwin is on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Bill, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh, man. Hey, nah.
All right, Bill. Have a good one. Let's go to Jeff in Cranberry. Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, Dan. How you doing? Just to add to the misery, I was actually listening to the game tonight. I was on the road, and you're listening to the late innings, and Joe Block, every pitch by our relievers, ball 1, ball 2. Maybe 2-1, then 3-1. Every Phillies reliever, strike 1. Maybe a foul ball, maybe 1 and 2. The whole key to this thing is that they don't get ahead on anybody. They don't pitch strikes. I mean, how do you walk that guy? I think it was Soto. Did Soto walk some? I think he walked one. I mean, you have Murderer's Row coming up.
He walked
You are a
9
major league. Yeah. You are a major league pitcher. You have Murderers Row come up. How are you going down? How are you going down the count? And it's just it's been
so
a
here it
theme
is.
with it.
Well, I'm going to give you the data. Mason Montgomery, 3 out of 5, a strike 1. 4 out of 7 for Gregory Soto, 0-1. 204 Santana, 2 of 3 Bidwa. So there's your first pitch strike ratio. Everybody was above, at 50% Santana, but 3 of 5 Montgomery, 4 of 7 Soto, 2 of 4 Santana, 2 of 3 Bidwa. But, I mean, I guess the point remains, I don't know how many 3-ball counts. I don't have that at the ready.
They don't pitch enough strikes. They just don't.
Well, they're just not effective either. They're giving up way too many hits. I mean, the bullpen in the 9th and the 10th inning gave up 6 hits. So, however you want to, ineffectiveness comes in a number of ways, and they're checking most all boxes in how to be ineffective. And it's a liability right now on a club that made a lot of strides and a lot of investment to rectify a lot of their ills last year, and they've done a terrific job, and it makes it all the more frustrating that an otherwise strong area, even during some lean years, which has been the Pirates bullpen. You could say what you want about whatever 90-loss season that the organization has had. Well, the bullpen, they've kind of figured that out. They've put one together on the cheap. They've done a nice job finding such and such reclamation project, this DFA or waiver wire guy, and they've unlocked some value there. It was for a time Dennis Santana, but Santana obviously front and center did not get an out tonight. 4 hits. He was hit all over the place in the 10th inning for the Pirates, who fall 11-9 to the Philadelphia Phillies after they had leads of 6-0 and 8-3. Mike in Newcastle on the Og Murphy and Perkowski postgame show.
Yeah, Dan, I'm getting 1999 team vibes because this reminds me very much of the 99 team. You had a great offense. You just traded for Brian Giles that year. He's an aircraft carrier. Jason Kendall was on a projection to be a Hall of Famer. KY and Al Martin just had 2020 seasons. You signed Ed Sprague. He made the All-Star team that year. Warren Morris was a really good rookie. You had a great lineup that could hit a lot of home runs, and you had a starting pitching staff, and Schmidt, Ritchie, Cordova, Benson, and you had 4 guys. I don't think Supon, he might have been on that team. I don't know.
2003. No, he was on the other all-offense a bad rotation team. But go ahead.
No, but the problem was with that, the rotation was actually pretty solid, especially for the steroid era. The problem is you turned it over to your bullpen with Mike Williams and his over 5 ERA. That's what killed that team. Guys like him, Jose Silva, them guys buried that team, and I'm just getting vibes of that team right now, and I really hope, because I think this team could be more, but I don't know, Dan. What do you think? And the other thing that's killing us right now is Antoine Kelly's not performing well in AAA. He was a guy I expected to come up if we needed an arm in the bullpen, but he's not doing well.
Who's the 2026 version of Todd Van Poppel, Mike?
I have no clue.
Would it be Bidwa?
Could be.
Van Poppel, Bidwa?
Or Cam Sadler, I don't know. Or Cam Sanders, I don't know.
All right, we'll talk to you, buddy. Let's go to Chuck. Hey, Chuck, kind of bring it full circle here for us, if you could.
Yeah. Well,
and you notice I went to you last. You notice I went to you last, Chuck, because the Pirates need a closer, and you're going to close things for us tonight.
Yeah.
Just because. Well,
so I'm not going to talk about specifics because the other callers have talked, and you and Rock Wader have talked about that. I'm just going to say this. This malignancy better stop immediately, or it's going to be, after this, if it doesn't stop, you start talking about words like terminal and fatal. And I will say this. I think these remaining 2 games in this series, or perhaps, I know it's just May, but the remaining 2 games in this series, they better win both of them, because you know where the destination takes you after this. It's a place called Missouri. and it's a city called St. Louis. And if this is not the last two games, if they don't win both of them, there's going to be another state with a word that sounds like Missouri, and it's called misery. And it's sad because a season of so much promise that was going to be different than so many before it. If this malignancy with the bullpen and blowing leads is not stopped, it's going to turn into dust.
And I like where you're going with it, because it really is it's a complex problem, right, that the Pirates have when you have so many guys that are going in the wrong direction. And thank you for the call check, but you're right on as to how do you fix this. It's mindset and it's action, okay? And when I hear yesterday from the general manager, and maybe his tune will change, and maybe he's given different marching orders from his bosses. That would be encouraging, if so. You do not have, right now, answers, and you have to go find them, and you have to bring them in externally. And that may be at an uncomfortable price tag. But that's what you have to do. Because, again, you have 4 losses already when leading after 6. You have 3 losses where you've been walked off. Bullpen has, and without dissecting each and every one of those games, bullpen has something to do with that more often than not. I understand that there's been a few road extra inning losses in there, and you get upside down on those, and it's really hard to win in extras on the road. But 6-0 leads, 8-3 leads, 2 homer games from your second baseman, 6 2/3 from your starters, and you just don't win those games. It's what bad teams do, and they've won some games that good teams are supposed to win. But they've also flushed away, anecdotally, at least a half dozen games. Can I cite all my sources and go through the scorebook right quick? Is anything in the front of the mind that I pull that they've lost, that they just truly lost, that they should have won? No, they stick with me, in the back of your mind. They're scars of a season, and this team, they've got some scars already. Tonight, this was a gash. Fatal? Probably not. It's silly to say on May the 15th, but we'll see what tomorrow brings. Bubba Chandler, what's your confidence level going in with Chandler, especially against Christopher Sanchez? Really tough left-hander. He of the 2.11 ERA. That's what is staring down the barrel at you tomorrow. And this was really maybe outside. And you got Zach Wheeler on Sunday. And as good as Skeens has been, and you love your chances anytime Paul Skeens is on the mound, regardless of who the mound opponent is, well, it just so happens to be Zach Wheeler. Okay, so you're really leaving what you hope is the rubber match of a 3-game series into the hands of the baseball gods. Because despite what, Skeens can do, he doesn't hit. And that's a 50-50 game. Because even if he goes 8 shutout again for the 3rd consecutive outing, or if he goes 7 and gives up 2, which you'll take that, and that's probably more of a realistic scenario given the lineup that he'll be facing with such good left-handed hitters, though Skeens has been really good against lefties this year. This was the game on paper. This was the favorable matchup. Ashcraft and his breaking ball, Nola and his struggles, and the script, went according to plan and worked as you built your 6-0 and then 8-3 leads. But the bullpen has turned out to be a wild card, a liability. So as we wrap it up with Chuck's mindset, it is the kill or be killed mindset that you have to have. That we will not stand idly by and, just allow the sample size to be a little bit bigger, for things to kind of level off, for the guys that we truly believe in to find their way. No, I'm not saying DFA everybody or release everyone, but you can phantom DL people, you can outright people to AAA Indianapolis and let them do it there. That's what winning clubs do. You don't get to do this and find yourself on the company dime. It's big league service time. The clock is ticking in so many ways for this organization that is in a really tough division. That everybody tonight, aside from the Pirates in the National League Central, they won again. So you've joined the Reds at the hip in last place in the division. And yes, it's only 4.5 games out. I'm not reading obituaries here, delivering eulogies, but what I am saying is that there is a clear Achilles heel for this club, and it needs addressed. And to bury your head in the sand otherwise with public comments, and it's one thing publicly to have faith and believe in guys. And listen, there's arm talent of those people that are struggling, that have been part of the problem and not the solution. And, you know, both things can be true. We still believe in them, and maybe they are somebody that throws their hand in the pile at some point after they fix whatever is ailing them. But in the interim, other options. There's not much in the minor leagues at AAA. Other options. And that includes getting on the phone, being extremely active, and being willing to pay an aggressive price. And from where I sit, and from comments of other executives in this game, one that will be in Cooperstown that was up here in the press box tonight, Dave Dombrowski, he said weeks ago when they installed Don Mattingly as manager that he feels that this market is developing and ripening much earlier than it does in typical years. And that's terrific news for the Pirates. Absolutely wonderful news. Because oftentimes, and in typical years, it's not, right? You have to kind of wait it out to see who's willing to do what, who's going to move from this side of the aisle to the other, contender versus pretender. So you're really teetering on the edge of that proactive versus reactive. And I think this organization needs to be super aggressive and go to a place of discomfort. And whether that is expelling prospect capital and being the aggressors on the phone to try to get this thing done and fixed externally. They are 4 arms short. And let's make no mention of the fact that there is some serious innings issues that you're going to be running into with some of your young, unproven starters. Outside of the first 2 guys in Skeens and Keller that you have, I mean, Ashcraft hasn't carried a full bag of mail for 162. Majinski, well, he certainly hasn't done that. And you look at him, I think, more of as a reliever. Bubba Chandler, no way. So where are these innings going to come from? There's a lot of innings to cover, and I don't think enough competent arms to be able to do this. So it's got to come externally. And that's where I'll leave tonight. A couple of housekeeping items. Who's hot, who's cold, brought to you by D'Amelio's in Greensburg, HVAC company where your comfort is their business. Brandon Lau, 2 homers. Again, 3rd time that he's had a 2-homer game. So he continues to heat up. And obviously, who's cold? Well, we've discussed it all night long. Pirates bullpen. Guardian Protection, your hometown security company. Good work overall, I'd say, from Mason Montgomery. Yes, he did give up a long ball, but I'd say he has been very much somebody that you can count on, and I would consider a reliable reliever. So he did a nice job tonight protecting the situation for the Pirates. Yeah, Bubba Chandler tomorrow as we look ahead, brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. PellaPittsburgh.com. Chandler at 1-4 with a 4.62 ERA. He's going to have to sharpen his pencil. The walks, they'll kill you against a veteran lineup like the Philadelphia Phillies. And Christopher Sanchez, 4-2 with a 2.11 ERA. That's tomorrow, 4:05, meaning airtime at 3 o'clock for the North Shore Tavern leadoff show. Special thanks to John Wayner for stopping by and to all who called in. Jeff Hawthorne, our sports director as well. You can read his fine work at 937thefan.com. And Charlie Borges back in our Green Tree Studios. On behalf of our entire cast and crew, Dan Zang really signing off. Our Og Murphy